as well. Garela means I'm hungry. I'm hungry, like smelling the food now. It's amazing. And yeah, man. So basically, quite a few South African languages that I can speak.
Awesome stuff. So this is a networking event, so we do invite everyone surrounding us to please bring your drinks, bring your food. Thabiso is going to tell us a bit about his history, where he comes from, what brought him from Mafeking all the way to Jacker FM. So over to you, Thabiso. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you. Let's give Elodie a round of applause. She's amazing. Thank you. Thank you very much. You'll see here basically on the post it says, I got fired into my dreams. So there's a story behind this. And there was once where I was currently at Jacaranda FM, and I posted this on my social media, and I said I got fired, and people went ballistic. They're like, what? What happened? Who did what? What did you do? But I was actually fired from my previous job before I got to Jacaranda FM. That story to follow, so that's like a cliffhanger. So allow me to tell you where I'm from. I'm from Mafeking, born and bred in Mafeking. There's a hospital called Opilong. That's where I was born. Both of my parents are from there. I am such a mixed breed, right? So my mom is Xhosa and my dad is Swati. That's why the name Khambule, or the surname Khambule. And I did my schooling there. And I was fortunate enough to, at a young age, when I was about 3 years old, we stayed next to Afrikaans-speaking people. And as a lady, it's so easy to pick up a language, you know. So dis hoekom ek nou op die oomblik kan Afrikaans praat. Ek weet nie eers hoe dit gekom nie, but here I am and I'm speaking Afrikaans. But man, I think life takes you through a journey without you necessarily knowing why you're going through that certain journey, but it's just prepping you for what's coming. You know, like even the bad stuff, I feel sometimes they prep you for what is coming, because as a 3-year-old, I didn't think me talking Afrikaans as a 3-year-old would get me into the biggest commercial radio station in this country. But that was basically started back when I was 3 years old. And my love for radio started when I was about 4 or 5 years old. So I used to sit in front of the radio. I can literally remember this. So my dad used to feed me pap while I was sitting in front of the radio, and I was busy recording all the songs, and then I'd make myself like I'm a DJ, you know, basically back announcing songs and forward announcing songs and saying that, yeah, that was Boys to Men with this song. And next up is NSYNC, as you can remember those days, it was those bands. And as time went on, I noticed that people start calling into radio, and I was like, hey man, I want to actually do this as well. So I started calling into a certain radio station, but while recording myself, so I would literally call, stand outside, because you can't have the radio on while you call into a radio station. And while I'm recording this, I'd speak and say whatever I wanted to, and then afterwards I'd go listen to myself, because I was so interested in that, right? And as time went on, I grew up, I got into high school. You go through your normal high school years, you choose your subjects. You get to tertiary. Now in tertiary, I'm like, I really want to do this radio thing, but I don't want to waste my parents' money. Because that is the thing, that's the norm, right? You're like, a creative space, nah. And the parents will most probably tell you, no, take something, 9 to 5 job that you can take care of the family and so forth. So I was actually very fortunate. I didn't have those type of parents, but because of society, I'd already shaped that in my mind. If I tell my parents what I want to go do radio, they're going to be like, no, you're not going to do that. So it's quite amazing how life will also push you into what you really should do. Because shortly after that, I went to go study. I studied travel and tourism. I studied travel and tourism for 4 years. It is a 3-year thing, but I failed my 3rd year because I was partying too much. And I'm being honest.
Practicals.
I was partying too much, so I had to go back for my 4th year, and then I completed it. So, but after completing it, I think that was also just all in the plan, man, because I started working then. I started working at a school where I was doing sound. So setting up the sound for school each and every morning for assembly. After that, I got a job in, basically like in retail, because I was selling massage machines. So if you walk into a mall and you see these people on the aisles, you know, trying to sell you stuff, you know, I was one of those people. So I was trying to sell people stuff, and it just didn't work out. I never sold even one massage thing. But in the interim, I went to the dentist. And I got to the dentist and I saw the receptionist. The receptionist was struggling, man. They say, oh, she was struggling. So as I'm getting my teeth fixed, I tell the dentist that I can do better than this. I can definitely do better than your receptionist. So can I please send him my CV and then maybe try me out? And he's like, okay, no, send it. Here's my email address. I send it. After sending it, literally 3 weeks afterwards, they call me in for an interview. I go for the interview. After going for the interview, when I got there, there is literally a lady as beautiful as Lee sitting there. And I'm like, nah, guy, your chances are, it's not going to happen. You're not going to get this job, right? And as I'm sitting there, now I'm contemplating, should I just rather go? Because this is not it's not gonna work out for me. But I sat through the interview, and literally 2 days later, they called me. And I was like, really? Me? And I went and I worked as a receptionist for a dentist. I think the second month, I got enough chutzpah to ask the dentist, man, why did you choose me and not, she was beautiful. That's the face of the company. You want that at reception, you know. And they just told me that, no, dude, you were like just intellectual and you're smart and we just wanted you. We don't want a lady. Okay, so with this, another dentist comes to visit this practice where I'm working. She sees me, she's like, dude, I'm going to offer you a better job. I'll pay you double whatever they're paying you here. Come be my assistant, right? And of course, I'm in my 20s. I'm going to chase after money. And I go to her, and when I get there, I'm a dental assistant, guys, for 2 weeks. And then she fired me. So leading up to this, and I think it speaks a lot about where we are at the moment, because I think there is something about being oppressed that is not correct. In a workplace, wherever you are, in school, amongst your friends, and I felt this. I felt a lot of this when I was working for this dentistry, right? And as a dental assistant, that I was being oppressed, and the rest of the workers were very scared of this dentist. And I was like, and I'm not going to stand for this. You can't speak to me the way you speak to me. You can't do this to me. I can't be working longer hours but still getting the same pay, or whatever the case may be, you know? So at that, it was quite amazing. She got someone else to fire me. She didn't fire me herself. She got someone else to fire me. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Pretoria. So I was walking down the streets of Pretoria, Schoolman Street, and I can remember I was crying. It was the longest walk that I had ever walked to my flat. Because I'm already thinking, where is my accommodation money going to come from? Where is my food money going to come from, right? And luckily I belonged to a church that was really caring. They were really, really caring. And they managed to uphold me up until I got another job and up until I got to do whatever I wanted to do. So in a way, me being fired forced me now to really concentrate on what I want to do. And that is radio. I thought of, okay, cool, who's the nearest person that I can basically touch base with? Because in the interim, I had got very close with DJ Fresh, the one Tato Sekwani. And I was like, in Fresh, come man, let me come shadow you at the studio at 5FM. So it's like, and come over. I shadowed him for 2 months. And then he was like, okay, cool, my guy, it's time now for you to go search for radio stations where you can work. And I thought immediately, Afrikaans radio station, Jacaranda FM, that's the station. And mind you, I used to listen to the station as a young boy, never knowing that I'd actually be working there. And it literally pivoted me in a way of going there. I got to Jacaranda FM, and the program manager at that time said no to me 5 times. So I didn't get the job the first time, I didn't get the job the second time, not the third time, not the fourth time. But the 5th time, he was like, okay, I can see that you want this. I can see that you're pushing for this. I'm going to create. Never mind, I'm going to give you work. I'm going to create a spot for you. They didn't have mid-morning and mid-afternoon traffic. So I became the first mid-morning and afternoon traffic reader on Jacaranda FM. After that, literally took a year. And then I went to the breakfast show and did traffic on the breakfast show. I did it for 5 years. And after that, the guy that I was doing it with said, dude, we have to travel together. His name is Rian van Heerden. Also a very, very well-known guy in the industry, especially in the Afrikaans industry. went over with him into the afternoon drive. But then a problem came. We were 3 guys in the afternoon drive. And of course, gender equality, we have to do this right? So of course, I got to move to another spot, and that is back to doing mid-morning traffic again, and then someone else came in. But this was also a setup, because in radio, going from breakfast to afternoon, going back into mid-morning, that's actually a setback. You're like, man, I'm supposed to be going forward. I'm either supposed to go back to breakfast because there's a lot of listeners there, but I went back. But it's quite amazing. Like I said, it's like life, sometimes it pulls you back. I got fired, and then I got pivoted into my dream job. And then in my dream job, I got basically, demoted. And then afterwards, after 2 years of spending in the mid-morning, I got my own 2 shows. Not 1, 2 shows. So it's a Saturday show currently from 2 p.m. till 6 p.m. on Jacaranda FM. And it's basically concentrated on just culture. I was actually telling Lee as well that I would love to invite some of you over to the studio just to come and see and experience the studio as well. It's an amazing creative space. Like the way you feel when you feel here, it's exactly how I feel on a daily basis when I'm in the studio. I have a Sunday show, and I only play South African music on that Sunday show. That's from 6 p.m. till 10 p.m. It's my baby. I love it. I get to interview only South African artists on that show, which I absolutely love. So I was fired into my dreams, definitely, because I came from a place of being fired. I came from a place of actually being demoted into a place of just greatness. And with this story, I wish to encourage people, because sometimes when we get a setback, and sometimes, I think we give the devil too much, too much credit for stuff that we go through, right? Because I literally think about it in this way. I'm like, and I think it's God actually that set me back. It was a setup for me to just go forward. And it's not because at the moment you're like, this devil is trying me. But I just think that it's literally God just finessing his way to basically set you up into your next goal and into the next thing that you have to do. So allow me to motivate you in that way as well, is that if you are experiencing a setback, or if you feel like you're stagnant and life is just not going anywhere, I always say this: live that season. There's a reason why that is happening. Live that season. Be fully committed even in that season as well. Like, try and learn and see where you should be basically increasing whatever you need to increase mentally, physically, and all of that. Try and just build yourself in that season until you get to your next. Because your next will come. That I promise you. It will come. Someone also said to me, we sometimes underestimate God's timing. We do. We do. We underestimate it so much because you want to actually be in a place at the right time, at the right place. Guys, thank you. Thank you for your ears. This has been wonderful. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.